And so I challenge you to look at your life right now and ask yourself, where can I invite more joy into my day to day? And in the beginning, it might be hard to see the pockets of time that you can create or shift or whatever to make this happen. But even if it can be the smallest thing. You just have to start. And once you start, you're like, oh, that felt good. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. And then the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm happy. I'm happy. And I'm not spending my day abandoning myself. It is your birthright to be free and to live a life that is joyful and full of ease. Hello. Hi. It has been a very, very long time, and you'll never guess why. I got sick again. I did. I got very sick. I got very sick, which I can definitely laugh about it now. And I low key was kind of laughing about it during because it was just so unbelievable. But I got sick and then it turned into a sinus infection, which I have never had a sinus infection before. It was absolutely horrendous. Do not recommend. And yeah, it took me out for, I would say, 2.5 weeks, which was just crazy. And truly, fevers every day. Just crazy. Anyway, I am taking that as a huge upgrade. And it's so funny because I got sick 3 times in a row. And, I have 3 kids, right? They get sick all the time. And sometimes I'll miss the sickness, sometimes I'll get it, but whenever I do, it's a couple of days. You know what I mean? It's discomfort, it's annoying, it's um, whatever. But these last 3 were so intense, especially the last one, that I truly at this point feel like it was such a purge of the energy field. And I know I talked about that before, so I'm not gonna go into it. But all that to say, I am back. I am back, and it feels really good to be here. One of the things that has been on my mind and on my heart recently is the idea of, and I kind of touched on this in the last episode, but it keeps coming to the forefront for me, and that is joy. Choosing joy, choosing to do things that light you up. And this comes through a lot for my clients during sessions where they feel lost or out of touch or just like something isn't quite right. And a lot of the time, what comes through is that you need to be doing things that make you happy. And that's just it. It's like, where are you abandoning yourself? Because that's really all it is. When you're not doing things that make you happy, and it's not to say that you need to just not do what you have to do, right? You have responsibilities. You have to go to work, right? You got to feed your kids. You got to do all of these things that you do have to do. But it is okay, what are the moments where I can choose my joy that I'm not? So it's like, what are you working too much? Are you only seeing, and for myself, I'm speaking for myself about this mothering piece of, am I only doing things with or for my kids that feel like I have to do them, as opposed to, how can I make this fun for myself too? You know what I mean? Can I join in on this fun? Because then that it just completely shifts the entire vibe of what's going on, right? And so this idea of, in order to come back to ourselves, we need to give ourselves permission to be joyful, to make things, to be creative, to just play around in general. Going outside, just looking at the trees, looking at blades of grass, just things that are reconnecting us back to ourselves and our soul essences. Like, we are light. It's allowing our light to just shine brightly when we're doing things like this. And so something I feel like really holds people back is the idea that being playful and always wanting to make stuff and being creative is childish. And so then you aren't a serious person and you can't be successful if you're not serious. It's like all of the images that were burned into our heads when we were kids growing up, and even still now. Every movie, every commercial, the successful person is picking up a briefcase, they're wearing a suit, they're very serious looking. And it's just not even, it's so one dimensional that it's laughable. Like, it couldn't be further from all of the possibilities out there for us. There are so many people who live a really full, rich life. And I mean that literally, figuratively, all the things, because they are creative people, because they make stuff. It's possible for all of us. And I had a session last night where it was coming through that there is the idea that there isn't enough for you to have. Like, there's too many people in this industry, or too many people make this certain thing, or everybody's talking about this. It's like, okay, but that's one person doing it. There are billions of people on the planet. There's no shortage of people that you could be speaking to. There's no shortage of resources out there. It's a mindset. It's like what we believe is reflected back to us. So if we think that nobody's going to want to buy my artwork, or nobody's going to want to hear what I have to say, nobody's going to read my words, whatever it is that you're trying to do or wanting to do, that is an old program that's running in the background at all times, right? And we can just shut it off. It's like, oh, okay, it's done. I'm done with that. I now choose to see all of the abundance in my life. I now choose to see all of the places where I can attract more. And a really great place to start doing that, to turn off that programming, is to choose your joy, to choose things that light you up. Because when you're in a space of, oh my gosh, I'm so happy and I feel really good right now, you can easily get into a flow state. And when you're in that flow state, it's it's like you're riding a wave, right? And everything that you want and desire is then able to just easily kind of converge onto that path with you. I don't know, I'm kind of seeing it like, it's really actually kind of hard to describe, but it looks like sound waves. Um, and it's like other sounds, other keys that fit perfectly with this melody are just kind of showing up. It's like everything that you need is provided. One of the things that always comes through for clients, that is, so it feels counterintuitive to us, but really it's the best thing to do, is that when you're feeling a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of urgency in your life, the tendency is, okay, I need to do more to fix this. I'm not doing enough. And that's why it feels like everything is piling on top of me, because I'm not doing enough. But really, what the guides always say is, you need to take a second and you need to do something that makes you happy. Where can you fill up your cup in the beginning of the day, or at any point throughout the day? Because when you are doing that first thing, or whenever you finally do it, you are now operating from your sovereignty, from your soul essence. So you're not operating from anything outside of you. So then you're changing your frequency, you're switching up your energetic field by doing this. And then everything around you has to shift because you have shifted. So then things start to fall away that aren't meant for you. And that is truly the power of choosing your joy, because it switches your vibration up so that things that are not aligned with you cannot be with you anymore. It's impossible. And so now it's understanding that when we're happy, like when we're happy, everything just runs smoother. Do you know what I mean? It's I'm like, I just want everyone to be happy. But I do. You know what I mean? I it's it's so simple, it's so profound. It's feels really difficult to do because we have been told so many lies about being happy and what it means to be happy. It's like you have to work really hard to be happy because you got to work through all of the BS before you can get there. And that's just not true. And so I challenge you to look at your life right now and ask yourself, where can I invite more joy into my day to day? And in the beginning, it might be hard to see the pockets of time that you can create or shift or whatever to make this happen. But even if it can be the smallest thing. It can literally be the smallest thing because once you start, it's like the first chisel in marble. You know what I mean? Before you're sculpting this gorgeous whatever, you just have to start. And once you start, you're like, oh, that felt good. Okay, I'll do another day. Oh, that felt good. I'll do it again. I'll do it again. And then it just compounds over time. And then the next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I'm happy. I'm happy. And I'm not spending my day abandoning myself because that's kind of what's happening, when you're doing everything you should do, which is a word that in the Akashic records, by the way, the guides never, it's like one of the worst words. Every person, every client that I've had where they operate from should a lot of the time, the guides always come through and say, that word is now deleted from your vocabulary. Delete it. And so if that's you, delete it. There are no more shoulds. I should do the laundry. I should clean the kitchen. I should whatever. It's just because then you're outsourcing. You're doing something based on what you think others are expecting of you, or because you want validation from somebody else, or you don't want to upset somebody else, or whatever it is, as opposed to, you know what, I know that the laundry will get done eventually. Is this hurting anybody? No, it's not. It's not physically hurting anybody to not have the laundry done. Like, it's just not. I need to switch this around so that I can feel like I'm reconnecting with myself in this moment because I know that's what I need. I know that will help me feel better. And then really what ends up happening is when you start to choose those moments, and then the other stuff just becomes a little easier to do. Actually, a lot easier to do because it's like, oh, I got to do this and that felt great, and whew, man, this laundry is really piling up. I don't really want to do this, but I feel a lot better about doing it now. So now I feel more capable of doing it because I already did X, Y, or Z, you know? So it's kind of a roadmap, right? Your joy, your what lights you up, what makes you happy is a roadmap back to yourself and a roadmap toward a life that is just full of way more ease and flow and abundance. It really, really is. And so you are not unserious if all you want to do is frolic and paint and sing and dance and, whatever it is. You're not an unserious person. It's just you want to do what your soul wants to do. You want to feel lit up all the time. And maybe right now it's not possible for you to be lit up all the time because of your circumstances. But if you envision a life like that for yourself, I would say that it's possible. You know, if you envision a life where everything is just so easy and everything is just, um, actually, let me reframe this because I'm feeling that some people actually cannot envision this, which is okay. And it's because you don't feel safe to envision it. But I would like you to know that it is possible for you. So whether you can envision it or not, it is possible for you to live a life that is full of ease and flow and joy, happiness, freedom, because it's this is you living a free life when you have a life like that. And even though you don't feel safe to live that life now, it is possible for you because it is your birthright. Okay. I know that was a lot. So you can just sit with that for a second. But it is your birthright to be free and to live a life that is joyful and full of ease. A life where you live from the inside out. So, I feel like I was just rambling because I this really fires me up. But ultimately, I think if you try to find, no, we're not trying. I would like to invite you to find moments, little pockets of time where you can choose yourself first. You're going to choose yourself. You're going to choose your joy and your happiness. Whatever it is that lights you up, you're going to choose that. Okay? And I want you to just do this consistently and see what starts to change for you. How do you feel in your body? How are you feeling? What are you seeing literally change around you? Because like I said, it is going to change your frequency. And when your frequency changes, your external changes. And if you feel called to do so, you should invite your inner child with you to do this work. They would love it. They would absolutely love it. And I bet you they have a long list of things that you could do together. Where you're just like, oh my God, I did used to love to do this. I totally forgot. They're going to be right there to remind you, like, hey, remember when we used to do blah, 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 blah? It was it was the best. We had the best time ever. Let's do it again now. 20 years later, 30 years later, however many years it's been since you've done it, it's going to be really illuminating for you. And sometimes it can bring up a lot of resistance. Yeah, it can bring up a lot of resistance when you start doing this kind of work because of all of the programming. But if you have ever felt resentment toward tasks or people or just where you are in general, I really think a lot of the time it's because we are resentful that we're showing up for others, but we're not showing up for ourselves. So when you start to only show up for others, you're abandoning yourself. And that is painful. And so resentment just starts to build and build and build. So we are going to work through that by choosing small pockets of time. We're starting small so that it's doable. So whatever feels doable for you, that's what's going to happen. Okay? Okay. So I'm so excited for you. And I would love, love, love to hear about how you are going to reclaim your joy. What small steps are you going to be taking toward reconnecting with yourself every single day? And if you have been doing it for a little while now, I would love to hear the transformation that you've been experiencing. And of course, if you need any support in this at all, you can always reach out to me. You can send me an email, you can send me a DM, you can comment on Substack, you can do whatever, reach out however it feels good to you. But I am here to support you because I love you, because we're all on this journey together. You know, it's a wild, wild ride. And so we need to support each other. So I hope that this episode made you feel seen. Um, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you at all. And there's definitely nothing wrong with wanting to be more playful, more joyful, you know? It's our right to feel that way. So, thank you again for listening to me in my post-illness voice yet again. Hopefully you'll hear my real voice one day. Okay, thank you so much for being with me. I love you, and I'll see you on the next one.